Ladies and gentlemen, this is your humble host, Comrade Fritz Misodi. Today we have a special show today talking about Justice Ayah Paul, who has been one of the fervent supporter of the struggle. Today I'll bring some excerpt about his outing, and also I'm gonna bring some discussions about the National Assembly, who are trying to push the Cameroon government to release the Naira 10 and the Taraba 49 that they illegally arrested from Nigeria. So those are two major issues we're going to be talking about, so that we don't spend a lot of time. And while we do that, we're going to give some update about the interview that Justice Ayah had with Equinox TV, and we'll come back to that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your political analyst, your famous show, Political Lab talk show by Comrade Fritz Misodi. Today we're gonna be talking about these two issues that occurred. But for now, let's look at the evolution of the crisis from 2016, and we try to see how La République du Cameroon has avoided discussions, okay, and the reason why they are doing that, and why they think that military option is the best option. Okay, so for the past years, we know the efforts to address the crisis in Ambazonia has all failed. Okay, both internally and externally, and international organizations have tried their best. Community, leaders have also done their best. The Ambazonian leaders have done their best. It's all about the Cameroon government's ego. Okay, we have seen different countries. Canada came, Switzerland came to be a mediator, but La République has been adamant to do that. Okay, we have seen even the humanitarian organizations came to help with humanitarian relief and so on and so forth. But the focus of Cameroon government is not to resolve the crisis. The focus of Cameroon government is to win the crisis, is to win the war. And that is a problem, right? When a country ruled by a dictator for 41 years want to win a people that are a recognized people with a recognized identity at the United Nations. You occupy their land, you want to assimilate them. You have tried to assimilate them for the past years, it has not worked. You have tried to wipe out their identity, wipe out their culture, and all those. Okay, but what is happening today is as a result of the failed decolonization process that hangs on the head of the United Nations, the former colonizers, Britain, and other parties that were involved in this poorly addressed decolonization process. The United Nations made it clear that when they granted our independence, the idea was behind them, either let us join Nigeria or join Cameroon, French Cameroon. But what happened? It was not complete, because it was something of seeing how we can relate. But if the relationship was not going well, they have to separate. It was as simple as that. But there was some other things to finalize to make sure that this federal system work. But the United Nations abandoned us. The UK government abandoned us. That is the problem. And Aijo took advantage of that. So today I want to come here so that we can try to see some of those aspects that were not addressed. Okay, and what other organizations can come in to do, because at this point in time we see a lot of organizations that are trying to help, trying to see how they can come in, but the Cameroon government is not welcoming. Okay, we have seen the United States Institute of Peace that has engaged with some Ambazonian leaders and provided some policy recommendation for the crisis. Okay, a lot of other organizations, different universities, local governments have also come in to intervene. Okay, but the fact that the Cameroon government believe that they are not ready to negotiate. Okay, they want to maintain the status quo. They want to keep their authority. They want to keep their occupying military in Ambazonia. That is the modus operandi, and that is how La Republic want to win the war. And for the past 7 years, you have seen all the atrocities committed. Okay, we shall be talking about other aspects in this struggle, but I want us to focus on Lord Justice Ayah Paul Abine, who was one of those who were locked up in the Kondenge prison with together with Fontem Neba, with the others, Agbon Kongo, Bala, those who were locked up with Justice Ayah Paul Abine, who is a very renowned father, a true father of the Southern Cameroon. He was locked up and he almost lost his sight. Okay, and we are just thanking God for his life, because he's still alive. I mean, with all the trauma, all the torture he went through, imagine his salary was cut, everything. Man, that is how how rogue that regime is in Yaoundé. They will render you a beggar, then you come and crawl to them. That's how they render most of the people that originate from Southern Cameroon to go begging, okay, for crumbs. Okay, you hail them, oh Lord. Okay, that's how they want. And Barrister Ayah Paul has went through all those torture. He went to the dungeons for almost a year and some months. That is the problem. But I want you to listen to him, because he understood the beginning. Even before the struggle, he was a justice in the Supreme Court. Okay, he was forcefully retired just because he supported the struggle, and he was made to go to jail, and all this aspect was what he went through. But I want us to listen to him, then we'll get to understand his stake in some of the things that have been going on in this struggle, because he understands very well. He knows a lot, okay, because he went to jail because of this struggle. So these are people who have been released, but the Ambazonian spirit cannot come out from them. Okay, La Republic think that when you put people in jail, you want to cleanse that mindset from them. Okay, the spirit is there, the mindset is there. You cannot take that away from them. Okay, people like Mancho BBC, all these guys that have been just illegally kidnapped, arrested from their region and taken to somewhere that they don't know how, they don't understand the language, they don't understand the system. That is what is happening. Abdul Karim is there in prison, illegally arrested for being an Ambazonian. Okay, so the way the regime of Paul Biya operates is that they don't like Ambazonian intellectuals. They like people who don't understand things, like somebody who can be yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Those are the kind of people they like. Atakanji, those one they will send him go and to say this, you go and say, Go and do this. You go. He doesn't have any say. If the prime minister don't have power, who is Atangarenji? Territorial administration. Which territorial and which administration does he know about? Someone that don't even know where is Meme, where is Fako. He doesn't even know where. So man, come on. Those are people that the Biya regime they like to put people that does not even have knowledge of what is going on. Okay, if you want to look at Cameroon today, the kind of minister they put there are those ministers that will be ministers that their people don't like them. Funds they'll favor funds that their people don't like them, so that they'll be answerable but to them in Yaoundé. Okay, anybody that you are answerable to your people, they don't like those kind of people. That is how the government operates, and that's why some of our people, you call them elites, you call them this, you call them this. All those are just not important. What we have to look at, what are they doing to their community that they represent? What are the parliamentarians doing in the community that they claim to go and represent? Because nobody voted them. Generally, all of them, these CPDM people have been appointed for their affinity and their affiliation to the party, not to the people. But when you look at the system, it's built in a way that most of the elites who call themselves elites don't even work in the, to help the local community or their jurisdiction where they represent. No, they help to keep the government in place, in power. And that is the modus operandi of that government. That's why we have seen all this in the past years. A lot of politics going on. Okay, the CPDM party has nothing that benefits the local population. They will just come election after election, election after election, coming to repeat the same thing that they are doing. Okay, fake promises and all those. But that's how it has been, and our people have been exploited, been marginalized, be all along the years. But when 2016 came, the people of Ambazonia say enough is enough. And that is why we see today this crisis is still having 7 years of crisis and war, killings and scorched earth policy by the Cameroon military. But the people of Ambazonia are very resilient. They won't give up anytime soon. So the government of Cameroon has to just check in their cost and effect. When you do economics, you know what it means, right? What you put in and what you get back. You have the cost and how much you put in and how much you get back. The input and output. What are you putting in? The people of Ambazonia are in their land. You are taking people from Yaoundé, people from all over to come and fight the people of Ambazonia. How do you win that kind of war? The Ambazonian people believe the war is a war of existentialism, the war of their own existence. So how do you want them to stop fighting for their existence or for their identity? Then the military are just fighting. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing in Ambazonia. Ask them, why are you fighting here? They say, on m'a donné l'ordre pour venir ici à Ambazonie, pour venir à Nosso. So the military themselves don't know why they are in Ambazonia. Okay, they're just following order from the old people in Yaoundé. Allez-y, tuez 20 personnes, tuez 10 personnes. That's what they tell them. Kill 20 people, kill 30 people, kill 50 people this week. Next week, kill 2 people. That's how they. So the Ambazonian life don't matter to them. So we are saying this because some of our people don't understand that this crisis is about our identity. It's about who we are as a people. That respect of the dignity of the people of Ambazonia is what we want. You can't wipe out somebody's identity and you want your own identity to stay. The little time that the TV segment put our flag during the African Nations Cup, you see how the hell was let loose in Yaoundé and all over, they were crying, oh, pourquoi tu as mis le drapeau d'Ambazonie? Pourquoi tu as mis le drapeau de ceci, c'est là, blah, blah, blah. The little time that they take their flag off, they understood the patriotism, why Ambazonians have patriotism for their country too. From the little child you go can sing Ambazonian anthem, and that patriotism is still embedded in us. Okay, and if they think that they love their country more than we love our country, it's where you were born, where you grew up, where your alma mater is where you are. How can somebody say you are not from Ambazonia? You are from where? Where are you from? So that is what we are fighting for. What our people need to understand: the difference between a civil war, a war of existentialism, and a revolutionary. This is about two countries. Okay. So it's not civil, it's international. So that's the difference between a civil and an international crisis, right? So La Republic is fighting all along to make it a civil war. It's not a civil war. You have to know the difference between civil and an international war, okay? So that's why when they say, why is the Ambazonian crisis so neglected? That's what makes it neglected, because it has the same status as Israeli-Palestinian crisis. It has the same status as Russia and Ukraine. Okay, it has the same status as any international war between countries. But why? Okay, I still want to thank our America for that recognition that there is a crisis going on, until they granted us TPS. And they are also trying to grant us some other status now. That is a good thing for Ambazonia, okay? That we have a government of America that is making sure that they give some ban to La Republic. They have given about 3 consecutive bans. One of those bans on the officials of the Cameroon government official is the ban on their visa. Most of them cannot come to America. Yep. Visa ban. America also removed Cameroon from the AGOA, Africa Free Trade, because of this crisis. Okay. Then we have seen so many resolutions, okay, that has been passed by the U.S. Congress, the U.S. Senate. All this aspect has been passed by the American Senate, and trying to conscientize the world. And Ambazonia is no more a little province or a northwest and southwest like La Republic want you people to understand. Okay, we had our restoration in 2017, and we are looking towards recognition. Okay, so it's the same thing. Even there are many countries that have had their independence, but they have not been recognized. So it's something different, right? Recognition can take so many years, but that doesn't stop you from establishing your government, making sure that your country is moving forward. You're running your thing as a country. Okay, recognition can come. Recognition has more of political intake and intuitions than regular. Not everybody will come and recognize you because they have their alliances, their treaties that they sign, and also and so forth. Okay, that is it. So we are looking towards that. Okay, let me bring Justice Ayah Paul, who just recently interviewed, so that you listen to him a little bit, then they will come to one of his excerpts. Okay,
one of the major cracks on nationhood in Cameroon today is the more than 7-year-long socio-political and security tensions in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, of course emanating from the decade-old Anglophone problem. And today we're asking the question, how to heal the sick nationhood. Barrister Ayah Paul Abine, how can the sick nationhood of Cameroon today be healed? How can the bonds be brought together, be strengthened?
First, by telling the truth, by facing facts. I recently read somewhere people talked about exchange of notes between the British High Commissioner, they call him Ambassador, and Ahijo. And tell the truth. Let us face facts. The famous United Nations Resolution 15, 1606, parenthesis 15, of 21st April 1961, called on 3 governments, the UK, the Republic of Cameroon, and Southern Cameroons. Southern Cameroons had a government at that time to come together and finalize the joining. That's the word they used, I think in capital letters, to finalize. Even quacks at law know that there is no international come together that is oral, that ends up in oral resolution, in oral whatever. Everything is documentary. The day Cameroonese and Cameroonians admit that the joining was inconclusive is the beginning of the resolution of the problem we have today. I hear you journalists call it crisis. How can you be fighting a war on the ground from the air with armored cars and you call it crisis? It's a war. The day we admit that the decolonization of Southern Cameroon ended inconclusively will be the beginning of the resolution of the present situation.
That is Justice Ayah Paul Abine.
Without that, we are just beating about the bush. Every day somebody
I want
says,
to come in here because Justice Ayah Paul knows the nooks and crannies of this crisis. Remember, he worked at the Supreme Court. He has been a very staunch, of course, before most of our elites were still part of CPDM, okay? And Justice Ayah Paul is a very renowned politician, and he was locked up, okay? He was locked up in together with Nkongo Bala, Kongo Bala, and Fontem Neba. All of them were locked up together with Justice Ayah Paul. But he is telling them today because he made mention of those ideas that we were talking long ago, right? Resolution 1608, okay? That resolution wanted the United Nations call on the UK government, the French Cameroon government, and the Southern Cameroon government to go and lay a foundation for these 3 countries to agree upon a certain dynamic on how the UK is going to decolonize Southern Cameroon and the agreement of that federal system. That's why they say that that union had no treaty, because it was when the United Nations asked the Cameroon government and the UK government, the United Nations never get any feedback. That meeting never happened. Ahijo took advantage of the lucidity of the situation and had to conduct his own fraudulent referendum. Okay, and you know, in the 60s, before the 1972 referendum, we had a full-time government in Biya. Well, okay, we were not going but to Yaoundé to sign documents. We had everything in Biya. The Southern Cameroon had its own House of Chiefs, everything in place. It wasn't something that you have to go and sign document in Biya, everything in Biya. Everything has been carried to Yaoundé. Justice Ayah Paul has a lot of knowledge of, before even this crisis started. Okay, let's keep listening to him.
Situation returning to normalcy, and the next day, people are killed. Let us begin there and forge ahead. When I was in politics, I said, faced with the present situation, let us come together, come up with a constitution that will be adopted by the two sides, and we rule the country in a 10-state federation. That document between the two parties, even in the absence of the United Kingdom, would be a document that will evidence the joining. As of now, let the President of the Republic or whosoever else refer us to any document saying that there was joining. The UN resolution never mentioned the British High Commissioner, called him ambassador. It named 3 entities: the Republic of Cameroon, the United Kingdom, and the government of Southern Cameroon. Even in the absence of Britain, we can, as black people, Bantus, agree to be together on terms, state down the terms. If we don't agree, there's nothing wrong in being side by side as two contiguous countries.
Southern Cameroonians were asked if they want to become independent by joining La République du Cameroun at the time, or by joining the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the plebiscite.
You see, that's the international fraud in the whole thing. How can you become independent by joining? That you become independent by leaning on somebody else. That's where the whole thing, where the whole fraud began. But to answer your question, the plebiscite was a declaration of...
That is... I like that part. That was where the whole fraud began. How can you ask somebody to have independence by joining another person? That is the international fraud. Justice Ayah Paul is saying there. Okay, how many countries had their independence by joining somebody? How many of those countries? Even the few that had their independence together have even separated. Most of them. How many countries that had independence and they realized that the union is not going, you see, okay, they separated. Because when you have countries that do not have the same, what do you see about that? They will separate, right? Pakistan used to be part of Bangladesh, so Pakistan separate from both of them separated. Talk about the Soviet Union, so many countries, Latvia, Lithuania, all those countries, all those are regions that were used to be part of USSR, but they had to separate. Okay, so you have a lot of those countries that used to live together, but when you see that things are not going, in Singapore used to be part of Indonesia, but look at Singapore today. Singapore separated from Indonesia. Sudan and South Sudan, they used to be part of together, right? But go and look at South Sudan today. That is why before, even Germany, you had East Germany and West Germany, that were not moving together. Some of the part of that Germany, they went and formed some other countries around there. Okay, so there are a lot of countries. Even Vietnam had the North Vietnam and South Vietnam. Korea today, Korea had, used to be one, but now they are separated. North Korea and South Korea. You see, so it's not that you have to force it. You have to force it that this country must stay with you or this country must stay with that. You don't force countries to stay with when things are not really moving when they are together. Okay, they will hardly be together. East Timor was part of Indonesia. It's also separated. So all these countries, Pakistan and Bangladesh, they were one country. But what happened? They separated. So all these are examples of countries that were together, but they saw that the union is not moving. And what happened? The peace, separation. Look, the British rule us together with Nigeria. But when our parents saw that the 40 years that we have been with Nigeria, it was not moving. They had to leave Nigeria. We were represented at the Nigeria house at Enugu. Our parents left without any problem. Nigeria never fight. Nigeria never said no. We must stay with them. Our parents left. So I don't know why it's a problem for the Cameroon government to say, "Oh, we must stay with them." Jumba married a force. I mean, I never see this kind of thing, man. Jumba married a forceful marriage. You hear Justice Ayah is saying here, he is a justice. He has to be a justice at the Supreme Court. So it's not any kind of lawyer who can say anything. You understand? He's saying something that he knew, and he even told the Cameroon government before 2016. Before the crisis, he told the Cameroon government because he was working inside the government. Okay, let's keep listening.
Intent. We want to join, to achieve independence by joining. Declaration of intent. And the United Nations itself came out with a resolution 1608 bracket 15 of April 21, 1961, saying that these three entities I've named a number of times here, the United Kingdom, the Republic of Cameroon, and the government of Southern Cameroons, come together and finalize. I've told you that word to the best of my memory. It's written in capital letters, to finalize. So long as that was not done, there is nothing final. There was nothing final about the joining or independence or whatever. I'm not saying it, I'm saying that's what the United Nations said should be done. And if anybody under the sun can show us today that is the document that the three entities met and agreed, these are the terms, if they bring us that document, all the killing today, everybody will tell those who are fighting that, look at, this is what was done by your forefathers, by your parents. What are you fighting for? Everybody will tell them, no, you are wrong. But glossing over everything, glossing over doesn't help anybody. When you tell them the truth, as I'm telling you here now, they send people after you to kill you. If they kill everybody, there will be, leaders of corpses, leaders of the dead. We'll tell them what can, bring us a lasting solution. And not by going to dish out money
Justice
to
Ayah
people in
is
Canada.
Something very important. He just, when you look at his excerpt, he's being honest because he's saying that the Cameroon government does not want to do what the United Nations said in their in that document. Okay, the government of Cameroon knew that they were supposed to go and finalize. Okay, that was why he said the plebiscite was a declaration of intent. Declaration of intent means that our people said, okay, we want to join this. Okay, we prefer to join these people than Nigeria. That was the intent. Now, the United Nations in the resolution 1608 asks these two countries, including the United Kingdom, to go and finalize. That's what Justice Ayah mentioned, right? Finalize. It means that that's why when we say there is no treaty of union, people don't understand what it means, right? That was when they were supposed to sign a treaty of union that will manage the two countries and having that federal status. Okay, where first of all, the one thing that we understood was that the presidency was supposed to be rotative. It wasn't supposed to be Aidjo for 21 years, Biya for 41 years. No, that was not the agreement. It was not finalized. That's what Justice Ayah is saying here, and we should understand that. And he said, if it was finalized, then we couldn't have been fighting now, right? Or the Cameroon government would have accepted, okay, this was the agreement. Even the constitution that we are using today is the French constitution, old constitution. The one that our parents brought in Fumban, they shifted it behind. So they never used the Southern Cameroon constitution. Whereas it was supposed to be a conglomerate of both constitution and a rotative presidency. It was supposed to be rotative. That was the agreement. It wasn't supposed to be one president for 21. Aidjo ruled for 22 years. Biya is going now to 42 years. That was not the agreement. So whatever people say, whatever somebody is saying, they have to understand what came down before this time. Okay, it's not about talking much or whether you talk or much. No, we cannot just stay quiet when we see injustice. Like Wiba always say, right? When injustice become a law, resistance become a duty for every Southern Cameroonian. It's not about one person. This thing, everybody has a role to play. Every Southern Cameroonian has a role to play. As an Ambazonian, you have a duty to resist. You have a duty to be an activist. No particular person is called an activist here. Everybody should involve. All Southern Cameroonians of a medium-sized age, of an adult age, should get involved as an activist. Don't say some people are activists, others are not activists. Everybody must get involved, because it's not about one person. It's not about you. It's not about 2 or 3 people. It's about the Ambazonian people. This is a fight for the livelihood, for the future, for the 8 million Ambazonians that are in this struggle. So you have to do your own part. The thing I always tell people, when you criticize somebody, ask yourself, what are you doing for the struggle? Because you people spend time on social media. Oh, this man and that. You don't even ask yourself, when you point this finger like this to somebody, how many fingers are pointing to you? Because you have a responsibility. You can't be pointing finger. Oh, this one has done this. They spend their time on social media, blasting people, talking to people. Hey, this one and done this. Then they forget about themselves. One famous leader, Martin Luther King, said, you cannot change the world without changing yourself. You cannot change Ambazonia if yourself has not changed. Think about yourself first. Have you changed? Are you ready for this fight? Are you ready to be in this struggle? Are you ready to create an impact in this struggle? That is when you start say you can impact the struggle. Don't spend time on calling names, people. This one has done this one has not done this. Fufudo done, rice never done, Achudi can done. That's not what we are here for. This is what we are talking about. Because when we go to the negotiation table tomorrow, this is the kind of things that they have to bring. Legal balance. We need legal balance to talk about. Something that is real. Okay? Because when we say it was not finalized, the agreement is what we call. That's what I always bring this, and our father, our forefather, our forebears, someone, that I met in Washington D.C., Molanjo Letumbe, he always say the relationship is in Jumba married, and that alone can tell you the general relationship between Ambazonia and French Cameroon. Njomba married, you know what Njomba married is. When you have when you keep somebody's daughter in your house, which is not legal, you have not legally signed any document as husband and wife. It's called in Cameroon Njomba married. It means that lady is not officially your wife. Okay, you cannot sue somebody who want to come and marry her. It's not because that lady is in your house that makes that lady your wife. No, there should be some legal document to prove that you have paid the diary, you have paid that lady's to the parents. You have gone and seen the parents. That's official something. But you getting mad that somebody come and took your wife, I've seen that happening several times, right? You have a girlfriend, you say it's your fiance, you have not done any official, you have not paid nothing, but you're claiming ownership. It's the same relationship we have now with the La République du Cameroun, where we are like that beautiful girl. Oh, then they claim ownership. Oh, this is my lover, this is my lover, but they have not paid anything. They have not signed any document. They have not gone to court to finalize the relationship. Nothing. No traditional marriage, no white wedding, nothing. But you want to claim ownership. That is the relationship that Molanjo Letumbe, may his soul rest in peace, said Njumba married. Justice Ayah is just saying the same thing, that it was not finalized. In capital letters, he said in capital letters, it was not finalized. It means that this is one of the root of the causes. Okay, and we have to understand that, so that when you explain this to somebody, you know how to tell them where we have those hitches. Okay.
Anglophone leaders, do we hear them again? But when the money gets finished, they will go back to their original, stance. It won't help us. It's not helping us. Let us sit down and talk. Talk to the real people. You don't make a grand dialogue and you call a certain Bakossi boy to go there and pose as if he was Jesus, dishing out instructions to his disciples. You call the real people, you talk together, you agree.
Not just to be sure that we're getting you clearly. When you talk about the real people, who are you referring to?
It's not for me to tell you who the real people are. The arrested people, they are in detention. Today they know that there are some leaders abroad. In the country here, the Anglophones have kept saying, even before Cardinal Tuli died, I kept saying like him, that nothing works until the Anglophones have met and elected their representatives and documented what they wanted. The Anglophones need to meet and tell you who the real people are. Paul I will be telling you the real people here, as who, in what capacity. The Anglophones should be allowed to meet. They will tell you who their leaders are. You sit down with them and dialogue. I believe that if things are clearly stated down as to our living together, peaceful coexistence, it may work. I'm not saying it will, it may. But the brute force will help nobody. The brute force is only costing us more lives. Both sides. Not only the fighters are killed, the military are equally killed. It's retarding the economy, the growth of our economy. It's retarding the country. We'll fight until what happens. And supposing we fight and people say, okay, we'll stop here.
Justice Ayah is just saying something very, very important here, right? He mentioned the real people. Okay, you remember the Grand National Dialogue in Yaoundé that failed, that the government went and selected some of their elites, CPDM elites, to come and be discussing on behalf of, So he said the journalist was trying to ask him about who are the real people. He was telling them, when La Republic tested the waters, La Republic ran away from Switzerland negotiation because they thought that the Ambazonian leaders are divided. No, the Ambazonian leaders are not divided. Ambazonian leaders talk to each other all the time. So they thought that they would take advantage of they thought that it was like division, this one. When they went to, they left Switzerland and went to Canada. In Canada, all the leaders say, okay, we are coming. Like, but we had to run. They thought that the leaders are so divided that no matter the whether you are in what group, whether some people say this one, there is the interim government, there are other groups that the leaders, the groups are united when it comes to their independence. That is the unity people want. Stay in your group or whatever group you are. That's not the problem. But the problem is who want independence. All Ambazonia want independence. So why are you saying we are divided? The La Republic went to Canada. They asked the Prime Minister. Prime Minister is also like a puppet, right? He doesn't have even his own power. They asked him to go and conduct that thing. The Prime Minister was the one that did all the consultation and sent his delegation to Canada. And leaders like Comrade Chris Arnold never went in the first place because they were very skeptical about La Republic. You see, then when the first statement came out from the Canadian Foreign Ministry, that's when we of the cabinet in the interim government said, okay, Comrade Chris, it's time to send somebody there now. Since the Canadian government has given their go-ahead, it's time for the interim government to get involved so that we can, see how it goes. That is when the Cameroon communication minister sent a communique that the Cameroon government has never sent anybody to Canada. What a disgrace to the international diplomacy. That is the last straw that broke the La Republic's back. The camel's back was broken then. That is when the international organizations, all lost trust in Cameroon government. They thought that they were dealing with some humane people, with people with normal, with rational sense. The Canadian Foreign Ministry said, wow, this is really strange. A process that has already been going on. They have had about 2 or 3 meetings. Then you just come and stop it like that. And when we say that the Prime Minister doesn't have any portfolio, people don't understand. That situation was just an example of how they treat the Prime Minister, the head of government. But somebody who is under him, the Minister of Communication, will write something and say no. Just imagine, the Minister of Communication, René Sadi back then. I don't know, maybe that's why he lost his job. I don't know. But the new guy also there is Gregoire now, or whatever. I don't know the new guy there. But René Sadi was the one who was there. The Prime Minister is the one that give recommendation, that is supposed to give recommendation before any minister is appointed. But does this Prime Minister there has a power? No, he doesn't have that power. So come on, Biya appoint all the ministers before appointing the Prime Minister, whereas it's supposed to be the opposite. You are supposed to appoint the Prime Minister, or then the Prime Minister now will form his government, because he's calling head of government. That's but is he truly head of government? No, it's just a figurehead. Because what happened in Canada is an example of how they are treating him, where a lower minister under him, Minister of Communication, cannot be more than the Prime Minister. because the prime minister have the same capacity like the vice president. Rene Sadi sent his communique that they did not send anybody to Canada. That was a big blow. But to the Ambazonian side, it was a big win for us, because it tells the international community that La Republic government is not ready for negotiation. Okay, all the name calling, terrorists and all those things, America just, and I always say this, anything that concerns Canada concerns America. Anything that concerns America concerns Canada. So La Republic might be thinking that they were dealing with Canada. They don't know that they're also dealing with America, because Canada and America are like twins. Everything they do together, everything. Basketball, yeah, NBA. You know, Canada has like 2 teams that are playing the NBA. They are playing their leagues together. Soccer league, they are playing leagues together with Canada teams. They are doing everything. Rugby, football, they are playing together with Canada teams. America, they are sharing intelligence. Immigration, the same thing. Americans don't need visa to go to Canada. Canada don't need visa to come to America. So what are you talking about? So if La Republic thought that they were dealing with Canada alone, they don't know that they were dealing with America. That's why America now know everything. La Republic cannot come and be lying here like that fake lawyer who come here and be lying to go to put fake lawsuit on people. The one they call Nsala, that guy. You know, we have international crisis. People are going to do the local thing. Please let me say this to you guys, please, Ambazonians. Our crisis is not a local crisis. Our crisis is not a local. It's not a crisis of small villages there talking about one. No. Please, it's about 2 countries. So anything should be done in an international format. Don't be going to be talking with some dirty police there. This army, dirty La Republic army there. Those guys in Quata. They have no say, and they have no thing, because they don't even have their own power. Right to the prime minister, nobody has power in that country anymore to decide anything. So don't go and say that you have. I heard this guy, my country people were saying that, oh, he talk with the minister. Which kind of minister do you have there? There are about 60 ministers in that country, but only about 10 are running that country. You can go and be talking to a local minister thinking that I'm talking to the minister. Which minister are you talking to? Even if the prime minister, who is the first minister, cannot even have a say, you talk. So which minister are you? Man, come on. So let's not look at our struggle in that level. We are talking with international organizations. We are talking with presidents already. We are talking with ambassadors. That's how big about this struggle is. So don't go and be dealing with local things, trying to put our struggle in a local way. Okay, you make it too local. And the reason why you see our struggle has been neglected is the way some of you are making this thing. You are taking it to a local level. It's an international international crisis between 2 countries, like Israeli-Palestinian crisis. It's the same thing. It's not about somebody talking. That's why don't even be bothering with these local guys going around. That is a governor, whether a governor of world group. Those are local people. He has no power to do anything because they don't have power on their own. Okay, if you cannot be asking power from somebody who doesn't even have power of his own. All the people in those countries don't have power. The people running that country are about 5 of them. 5. Let me tell you. You go and be say, I'm talking to this person. I'm talking to this person. Didn't you see even a general was removed from his post? Even you're talking with a general, it doesn't matter in that country anymore, because there are about 10 people who sit and make decisions. The rest people are just minister of portfolio, minister of the whether forestry and all those things are useless ministers. They don't have any portfolio. Even the parliamentarians don't have any portfolio. You saw the parliamentarians how they were crying. No portfolio they don't have. So don't come and say like this. My country people. Oh, I'm talking with the minister. I'm talking with this. You're talking with who? Who has power there? You're talking with paper tigers. Paper tigers. They don't have any power to do anything in that country. So don't come and be telling us that the international community has known our crisis. We have exposed the demonic nature of that government of La Republique. The thing has gone wide. Remember, when this struggle started, those old people there, the Biya and that is old government, they were thinking that old style. The way they caught the internet. Oh my God. Hey, people are very local. But this is the 7th year. I've met so many bees who have traveled abroad. I met 2 years who traveled. They ran from the war. Many bees have run away. They have gone to other countries. Rather than you going to be dying for those diaper old people, 90s, in their 90s, you are all youths. You're going to be dying for diaper President Yaoundé there. Ambazonian fighters, Ambazonian people are fighting for their own country. They are fighting for their freedom. The bee, what are you fighting for? What do you want to free? You cannot free somebody else's land. Ambazonia are in their land. You want to free their land? It's so useless and very laughable to see you bees dying for old people in Yaoundé, and you die and go. They'll still be there in Yaoundé. That's them still there now. You are there dying in the for old people. The Ambazonian fighters, like the Ambazonian people, have that spirit of resilience. They have that spirit to take back what belongs to them, and nobody can take that from them. You can go and do your incantation like those chiefs were doing, whatever they are doing, those things. It doesn't work. You cannot make incantation on 8 million people. It will not work. So the thing I will tell our people is that keep this struggle going. We have a long way to go, and you see even the Nigerian High Court is still calling on the Cameroon government to release those people that were illegally taken from Nigeria. Most of these leaders were professors, they were teachers, they were refugees in Nigeria. The Cameroon government, they have broken all international law. Everything international law they have broken. So what else do you think they cannot break? I'm just laughing at these guys who say they are federalists. You want to go and federate with somebody who has never respected one law. The highest fraudster that you can ever think of. No, don't ever go and do anything behind with La Republique. I'm just laughing at anybody who has any back deal with La Republique, thinking that they are wise. The real wise people have already run away from that Cameroon. Because anything you do behind the back, they'll either kill you, or they expose you, or they be able to see they don't even know you. Yes. This is what the Nigerian National Assembly. You see, the worst thing is that these guys have never discussed this crisis in the Cameroon Assembly. See how demonic these people are, right? If really they want to resolve this crisis, they can even table it and say, okay, we are ready to discuss, right? But they don't do that. Then somebody will come and say you want to be a federalist. You be a federalist in a government that does not want to discuss about you. We already, for the past years, we already knew that this government is not a government to trust. There's lack of trust. You can't trust this kind of government that they are so corrupt, fraudulent. Everything they do is mafia. Okay, you can go and sign that federal system with these guys. They'll still behave like Aijo did. They just abolish it. They go and make another fake referendum. They say, oh, this is another new referendum. Overnight, they'll bring their own ballot as they're doing in this fake election that they're holding. Since Nijo Frundi won the election, you saw what Nichu is saying there, right? No way, they cannot give you. They don't think that Ambazonia even intelligent. Ambazonia have intellectuals to even lead. That's how they think. They think that we are too dull, but it's not what they think. This is a Southern Cameroon lawyer going right there in Nigeria National Assembly, talk about the prisoners that have been kidnapped and be put incommunicado there. Take a listen.
Request for help to secure a release of professors of Nigerian universities and refugees abducted from Nigeria and imprisoned in Cameroon. First summon.
Petitioner, sir, go ahead, sir. Announce your appearance and.
May it please the committee, Joseph Fru, name is spelled F-R-U, for the petitioner, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Respondent, on this matter, you are responding to this petition, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Announce your appearance, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Ambassador Manu from Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay. Where does... Off your mic, sir.
I am
petitioner.
my colleague, Ambassador
Francis Enya, I'm a deputy director.
You've not traveled?
No, I'm not there.
Okay. Please, your petitioner, you have the petition with you?
Your Honor, we have the copies because of time constraints. They just got in. We've not submitted them. We were just going to crave your indulgence to have time to be able to submit that and have them acknowledged before we go. So if we could ask this matter to be stood down, just have the next one, time for us to make sure that they've been submitted, and then we come back on the record.
Do you have your petition with you? The petition
Yes,
we
sir.
are sitting on now.
Yes, sir.
Can you adopt it as evidence in chief? If we are joining it, we are joining it.
Most definitely.
Can you adopt it?
So let me just go back and recognize the presence of Barrister Binka, who is with me, and Barrister Achiri, who are also with me on the file, sir. And Binka is spelled Mbinkar, and Achiri is spelled Achiri. And that said, sir, we adopt and rely completely on the submissions that we've made, and we crave the indulgence of the committee to adopt and accept it as part of the record of the committee. Thank you.
Okay. Your petition, I would explain and also adopted your petition is hereby entered as evidence. Foreign Affairs, sir, have you received submissions from them? Is there any, you have the petition with you?
Honorable Chairman, we only received
So that's
petition
so that's the
through the Honorable
petition.
through this committee. But prior to this, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has no record of this petition. We also tried to contact our...
That's the petition that our barristers, Southern Cameroon barristers, are putting forth in the National Assembly. We have Barrister Joseph Fru, Barrister Mbinka, Barrister Achiri in the Nigerian National Assembly to call for the immediate release of all the illegally arrested Southern Cameroon Ambazonian leaders in Kondengi. Remember, the Cameroon government was called upon to release these guys long ago. The High Court, the Nigerian High Court, after they came across the complaint, they realized that the arrest was done by few criminals, few corrupt officials who went and connived with some Cameroon officials and arrested the Nera 10 and the other ones in Taraba. So it was illegal. They called on the immediate release and the compensation. That's, they were supposed to release all those prisoners, send them back to Nigeria and be compensated. But till today, has Cameroon done that? So when you broke international law, when you breach international contracts, when you breach international treaties, do you think Cameroon can respect any legal or federal system agreement? Think about it. This country is so corrupt that if you think that you can go to any legal agreement with this country again, after what Aijo did to us, and now Biya is doing, that is why they cannot go, because they want to use all the military means to crush our people. So think about this. How can you guarantee the future of Ambazonia in another federal system again? I'm talking to our federalists because they are still dreaming of a federal system. That will not work. It will not work. So please, just leave us that appellation for now. That is giving us a headache. Our people have died enough. Our people are still in jail. Our people are still in refugee camps suffering. In thousands of our people are suffering in refugee camps. We are here talking of federation. What kind of federation can you federate with these people? These corrupt people? Man, please just leave us with that name federation, please. Thank you and God bless Ambazonia. Please, let's keep the struggle. Let's keep it moving, okay? God is on our side. We are gonna overcome everything, okay?